Bikers are a unique breed. In 1 second of foolishness, the sport they love can turn from an exhilarating experience to a fatal one. For a variety of reasons, racing is now confined to circuits like Mondello and extinct from the roads of most parts of Europe. But this country and the Isle of Man are two notable exceptions. At the weekend, for the third successive year, the Sligo Motorcycle Club organised a series of 6 races along a 4.5 mile course near Leitrim Village. More than 30 riders lined up for the 8-lap classic race. All of the bikes had the status of best friends. Some of the machines, over 20 years old, were about to travel at speeds of 140 miles per hour. One man with an intimate knowledge of the sport is the commentator known to the riders as Big D.
I would characterise the people involved in the sport of motorcycle racing as the salt of the earth. They have a great respect for each other, and they do something marvellous for Ireland, that they bring people together of all creeds, beliefs, and they race together. Unfortunately, in times they mourn together, but I think they bring people together, and it's a great sport. It's got inherent dangers, but I think everybody knows this, and I've talked to riders in the paddock, outside, sitting around, having a quiet cup of tea, maybe something a little stronger, let's not deny the fact, and we've talked about it. And they say, well, the power's in my right hand, I can turn the throttle down, I can turn it up, and that is how they look at their sport.
Irrespective of one's prejudices, motorcycle racing is a thrilling sport to watch. From a vantage point at a hairpin bend known as the Devil's Elbow, we view the 250cc bikes in action. County Down rider Dennis Todd was out in front from early on. His average lap speed was well over 90 miles per hour. Mistakes or breakdowns can happen at any time. While we were there, one rider failed to halt at the hairpin.
He's coming down the hill there, you know. But
you went right through the corner. What speed were you doing?
I don't know. I'm sure down there it's over 100 miles an hour anyway. But that's it. End of race.
You weren't frightened, were you?
No. That's the way it goes, you know.
According to NACE rider 𝘿𝙖𝙣𝙚𝙚, there are special skills needed for road racing.
It's totally different from riding on short circuits like Mondello Park or any of the short circuits in England. It's a different form of riding. You have to ride with your head as well as your heart, you know. You really have to know where you're going. That's a big help, you know, and you have to think ahead. I think a man that, like a fast man that thinks can judge his race, you know, more than somebody who goes head first, and there's no room for error on the roads.
Do you ever get afraid when you're travelling at, we'll say, 130, 140 miles an hour?
No, you don't have time. There's no fear. You might have nerves on the line, which is common. I mean, if you haven't got nerves, you shouldn't be there, you know. But once the flag goes down and you're away, that's it. You're racing then. You don't think there's no such thing as fear as such, you know. No, there's not.
Road racing is particularly popular north of the border. There are pockets of interest in places like the Midlands and the Northwest too. There's little room for the curious or the mildly interested. If you are involved, you must be totally so. Frequently, whole families are brought along to the different meetings. Dubliner Eddie Laycock is one of a small group of Irish riders who's trying to make a full-time career in the sport.
Oh, we've travelled up to 170 mile an hour. Obviously you get different circuits, so you have different speeds, but mostly in around 130, 140 mile an hour is an average speed for your own circuit.
Some people object to the sport, they say it's dangerous.
Well, you get that in thinking every sport, like in rugby people say it's dangerous as well, but I think everyone, once you get on the bike, you know your own risks, you know the risks you have to take, and everyone just enjoys themselves. You don't think of that aspect of it really.
Just minutes after the final race of the Leitrim meeting began, the steward's red flag signalled that out on the course something had gone wrong. Understandably, the tension spread as word of an accident filtered back to the control area.
Roger, Peter, that's fine. Evidently they can't move a maiden. They can't move him. They don't want to move him, so they want the helicopter, irrespective of where it's got to land.
Within seconds, a helicopter was on its way to the scene of the crash, in line with pre-arranged accident procedure. The afternoon sport was over as the competitors were led into the finishing area. Half a mile away, the helicopter was preparing to take the injured Antrim rider David Gordon to Sligo General Hospital. 5 riders in all were injured over the weekend, none of them seriously. Further down the road, marshals were busy clearing David Gordon's bike from the roadway. The tension was palpable.
Just an accident. Just a racing accident. Was all that happened.
And so the riders began preparing to make their way home. In a weekend, Leitrim had witnessed the tragic as well as the thrilling potential of road racing. But the organisers hope to stage the event again next year.